Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Minister, for being here.
Back to the ritualized jousting.
Right back. You know what? You should trademark that. Honest to goodness, but that's great. I would like to actually talk about GDP per capita, but I think it's important that we come to an agreement, or that there's factual clarity with respect to what the PBO has recently told us. RE, the rebate versus the carbon tax, and so. This will be, I guess, a little bit of ritualized jousting unless we can come to an agreement, which I'm hopeful we can. But in every one of the provinces, in a recent report from the PBO that I'm looking at right now, he says that where the backstop applies, that there is a net economic loss for families in every single one of those provinces. Can you just agree with that?
With true goodwill. And I do enjoy our conversations. I think you and I probably disagree on a price on pollution, or at least we disagree on it today. Because the thing that I would point out, to you, to your colleagues, is you guys ran in 2021 on a carbon price. I read out the quote from your platform to Mr. Halan, and you said there was going to be a carbon price that increases to $50 a ton and on a path to $170 a ton. I think the reason you said that, please enlighten me, but I think the reason you said it is because you understood in that campaign that Canada needs a credible environmental plan, a credible plan on climate to attract investment. And we are doing a great job in attracting investment to Ontario, working with the Ford government. VW, Stellantis.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you. I would just, provide the little bit of commentary that the OECD does predict us to be last in capital investment over the next 40 years. But I just want to go through this because I think it is important that we have factual clarity on this. And so the PBO tells us that the average family in Alberta will pay $2,943 in carbon tax. Could you please tell us what their average rebate will be for that family?
You mentioned the OECD, so I can't resist pointing out that according to the OECD, in the first 6 months of last year, of 2023, Canada had the highest per capita foreign investment of any country in the G7 or G20, and the third highest total sum of foreign investment. That is impressive. That is actually thanks to our collaborative work with the government of the province of Ontario. And it is thanks to the fact that we have a climate plan. Investors are demanding that.
Thank you very much. So what would be the rebate?
For our province, Ontario families, it's $1,120. For Alberta families, it's $1,800 this year.
Okay, and so for Alberta, they'll get a rebate of $1,800, but they're going to pay $2,943. For our province, the beautiful province of Ontario, they're going to get a rebate. I believe what did you say? 1,040. I've got 1,047, or it's 1,100.
I have 1,120.
Okay, fair enough. The amount they're paying is $1,674 there. So it's factually that Canadians are at a net loss because of carbon tax. That's the PBO. That's not us. I just want to get that clarity. I now want to move on to our GDP per capita, which I think is a pretty important issue here. And so this is the GDP per capita. The blue line is the United States over the last decade or so. The red line is Canada. And you see this gap appearing around 2014, 2015, and it's quite a large gap. And that's incredibly important. That's incredibly important because that underpins the economic well-being of every Canadian. And this gap is expanding. And so could you please tell Canadians why they are getting poorer while Americans are getting richer?
Point of order. Chair, I'm not sure if the rules here are the same as in the House, but my understanding in the House is that we're not allowed to use props, and so I just wanted to ask if you could rule on that.
We're going to just suspend, and I'll confer with the clerk and get back to you. And you'll be our last questioner, MP
Point of order,
Weiler.
Mr. Chair. I won't speak anymore, but could you give the Minister 15 seconds to comment on that, please?
The Minister, if you'd like 15 seconds, and then we'll be going to MP Weiler.
I'll just say two things super quickly. We all want jobs and growth. The way to get jobs and growth is to pass Bill C-59. This includes essential ITCs, which, like, I was in Calgary last Friday. Industry leaders, Alberta industry leaders said to me, why the heck can't you get those measures passed into law? It makes me quite sad to say it's because of Conservative MPs that we can't do it. So let's just get together on this. Let's pass these measures.